1, 2, 3.
Yeah, beautiful piece.
Nice.
Hey everybody, we're here today with the incredible John Reeves, piano player, accordion player,
Too kind.
composer, clarinet player.
Oh, when I was a kid. I won't get it out.
What's the other one called? The accordionita?
Accordina, yeah.
Accordina as well
Yeah.
now, new instrument for John.
Concertina.
Concertina as
Yeah.
well. Awesome. Thank you, John, for being here.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Excellent. Beautiful. So tell me a bit about your story. Like, did your parents play music? What did music came into your life?
No, my parents didn't play music, but they loved music,
Did they?
and my
Okay.
grandparents loved music as well. So
Yeah.
it was always on in the house, and
Yeah.
you know, and they're always talking about jazz, and
Really?
all
Ah,
that
wow.
kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So they really encouraged me when I took an interest in it.
Awesome.
So that was the
Beautiful.
main thing, really. Lots of support.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah. So that was good.
Excellent.
Yeah.
What was the first instrument that you started playing?
It was clarinet.
Clarinet, yeah,
when I
cool.
was 6.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I wanted to. The first instrument I did, I picked up. There was a big table of instruments at school,
Yeah.
and they said, "What? Pick up whatever instrument." I
really?
think it was some sneaky tactic.
Yeah.
See what people are drawn to.
Yeah.
Here's a table of instruments, and I picked
Wow.
up the trumpet.
Yeah, okay.
I was like, like that. I was like, "Oh yeah, this is it. This is it."
Yeah.
And then some kid, you know
Yeah.
how nasty we are when we're little kids,
Yeah.
just went like that, and the end of the thing.
Oh no!
So you know, maybe the
That's
entire
horrible.
course of my life could have been different
Yeah.
for that one moment.
Oh no! It could have been the next Chet Baker or
Oh,
something.
that's it. Never mind. Yeah, without the drugs, hopefully.
Exactly.
Yeah. So it was clarinet. Yeah, that's the one I ended
Right.
up picking. I think my aunt had one that my cousin had played and then sort of stopped playing. So
Right. Okay. Cool.
it's
So
not
you,
lying
yeah, you
around.
had to learn around it.
had a
It's
go.
okay.
Yeah.
That's so
I had a nice
good.
teacher at school.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
And then then my mum started playing piano a little bit.
Yeah. Wow.
A lady up the road who was giving her lessons.
Yeah.
And then I think just as a young boy, just competitive, I thought,
Yeah.
oh, I bet I could do that better than my mum. Horrible, really horrible motivations. And so I went and so eventually I went and had lessons
Right.
with
With that lady as
teacher.
well.
Yeah,
Okay, cool.
yeah, it was
Awesome.
nice, and I really liked that.
Yeah. Was it more classical or jazz or?
I think
popular?
she was used to teaching classical,
Right, yeah,
but
sure.
I wanted to play in the band at school.
Right. Okay.
and
Cool. Awesome.
Stuff like that, and
Yeah.
so she kind of she was a classical teacher, but she was very accommodating.
Yeah.
She just wanted me to play something that I liked and keep me wanting to
Awesome,
play.
fantastic.
So I was really lucky.
Yeah, exactly. Instead of pushing you to not only classical and then kind of,
That's it. And then told me when to move on too.
Yeah, awesome.
You know, it was really good. She said, I think now you need to go to someone else. And,
Oh, wow.
after
That's
a
beautiful.
while,
Yeah. Great. Good on you.
Yeah, it was good.
Excellent.
Yeah. I got into music college, young music college for a couple of years at the end of school.
Right. Okay, cool.
After that.
Yeah.
And then from there I got into, and then I was just studying classical piano straight up.
Wow. Full on. How many years did you do that for?
Well, I was at college for 4 years. Doing classical, but
4 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
But before
that was because you went to the Royal College of Music.
Royal College of Music.
Wow, that's super famous. Like, still one of the greatest schools of music
it's
in
a
the
great
world.
School
right?
of
Yeah.
music. Yeah. It's wonderful. Well, there's 4 big ones in London. There's the Royal College. There's Royal Academy. And there's a Guildhall and there's a Trinity School. Okay, sure. And there's a whole sort of lineage from there. But they're great places. A great big stone building, and you go, and it was opposite the Albert Hall.
Yeah, wow.
And all that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
so
sure.
you know.
So were you born in London? Was that where you?
No, I was born in Bath.
In Bath.
I grew up in Bath, so I was born up north. But
Okay.
I grew up in Bath. Went to school there. And stuff.
Okay, cool, beautiful.
Yeah,
Bath is gorgeous. No? It's like an
another
old
beautiful
Roman town, right? Like, it's beautiful. I did that once. I remember years ago. But then you had to move to London for college, basically.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
sure.
that's right. Like going to uni.
Yeah,
basically.
of course. Yeah.
So that was nice. Yeah. The people. It was a very inspiring atmosphere. I had a really good teacher.
Really.
But
cool.
also going in and like there's kids there who are just unbelievable already.
Oh yeah,
and
sure.
you're just like, wow,
my God,
you get an idea of the whole spectrum and stuff, and just get your ass kicked.
Yeah, totally.
Constantly.
Right? Yeah. So funny.
It's very good for learning.
That's cool. I went to the conservatorium here in Queensland, in Brisbane. And but I went really late. So I went. I was like 31 or 32. So no, something I always wanted to do in my life. So I said, no, I'm gonna do it. And I remember that, first day, like with these 17-year-olds in class, 18-year-olds, and they're just little monsters, like with perfect pitch, just like transcribing things, on the fly. It was like, holy shit, what writing? It's a fascinating.
Well, it's nice that there's time in music. If you want to go into music, you have a whole lifetime. Yeah. And everyone's got strengths, and you've got time to fill in the other bits, haven't you?
Yeah, absolutely. No, I think it was a good choice to go later, because I think
you'd be more motivated.
I was super into it because I was like the geek in the class. I know, I want. I know. Do you know what I mean? Kids are looking at me going, "God, who's this old guy? How boring."
I doubt they thought you were boring.
Thank you. The other thing which I also noticed in the academic environment, like in the musical school, is all the kids to get into those kind of conservatoriums and kind of like high kind of level school of music, they have to be good already. Yeah. So when they get in there, they think they're the best, right? They get in there thinking, I'm the best clarinet player in my school. And they get there, there's like another 50 clarinet players there, even better than. So it's like so good for the ego, for all of our egos. Definitely a good for my ego, just to bring you that, hey, do you know what I mean?
That's right.
You got so much to learn. And
my teacher told me, you have to get grade 8 piano, just basic before before the audition, so you can say got it, and preferably you need to get a distinction.
Wow, yeah.
And I was like, okay. And so I managed to do that.
Yeah, awesome.
But then when I told her, I bought the certificate or I phoned her up or something, and I said, there you go, I did it. Mm-hmm. And she said, now you can start to learn to play the piano.
So good. What?
That's it. I was like, I was only like 17 or 18 or something. Yeah, it's like, okay, I can take that.
Yeah, totally. Oh man, it's a journey, isn't it?
Yeah, it certainly is. Yeah.
But then there was like classical music. Like 4 years of classical music, because I know you as a jazz player,
And my whole working career has been playing jazz.
Cool.
So I sort of transitioned myself, and being in London was a really good jazz environment. There's a great scene there.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
I imagine it's very different from anywhere else. Just like like New York or Brisbane or Melbourne or all these kind of places. They've all got their own kind of flavor.
Yeah, absolutely.
Stuff,
Totally. Yeah.
I mean, I'd love to hear what the jazz is like in Brazil.
Oh, it's great. Rio's, especially where Rio does, I guess, the scene where I know Rio, a lot of, great jazz bars and clubs that you can go to and see these incredible musicians, because we have the whole traditional samba, bossa nova and stuff, but there's, especially I guess from the bossa nova guys, they were listening to a lot of jazz records and stuff. So there's not a crossover, but there's this appreciation
that
for
harmony
jazz.
Must have come partly from
absolutely, there. Totally,
That's
super
awesome.
influenced by those, the big bands and all the jazz players and stuff, and super cool. But I was in London as well, like I think in the 90s, that's when I fell in love with jazz. That's when I kind of,
okay.
Do you
remember who you saw at all?
Oh, I used to go, I guess it was the West End, like Ronnie Scott's and all those clubs around there. Yeah. And there was this guitarist that I saw, he was a French guy. And I was like, oh my God, this guy's great. So I went to get lessons with him. But I just remember his pink socks. I just remember thinking, how the hell do you dress up? Like, you're such a quirky dude, Yeah. But I just remember going to his house and, teaching me all this stuff. It was beautiful.
Oh, fantastic.
It was great. It was super cool. And it's funny because I discovered bossa nova in London as well. Because I went because I grew up in Italy. I went to Italy when I was 11. And then I went to London when I was 17. And then my girlfriend comes home one day with like a tape from that she went to Camden Town markets. And there was this guy like selling these tapes of music and they were playing this bossa nova stuff. So she came home listening to this and I put it on and I was going, oh my God. It was like Baden Powell, like playing this kind of guitar stuff. And I was just kind of fell in love with the music and stuff. It was super, super cool. It was,
So that must have been like something resonated with you.
It did. I think it was because I left Brazil, I guess I was 11, at a young age.
Okay, so it was in the ear.
Yeah, it was in there. But like my family wasn't really musical in a sense, So the music already came to my life, So it was like, 2 chords, like writing poetry, like, the singer-songwriter kind of journey. But then when I discovered Brazilian music, thanks to that tape in London, that kind of changed my life. Like kind of pushed me in the
Those
direction.
moments are amazing, aren't
right?
they? Yeah.
It's so
You're
cool.
Like, why is that so exciting?
It is, right? Yeah, it's so cool. No, it's great. And I guess Brazilian music has the harmony, all those big chords and stuff. But we don't have the improvisation as much, right? So, about like the beautiful melodies, great harmonies, the stories and stuff.
A different attitude to rhythm.
Yeah, and the different rhythms, of course, those
dance,
influences.
I don't hear much Brazilian music where it's either definitely got some kind of beat that relates to dancing or something, or it's like a rubato rendering of some heartfelt sort of story.
Absolutely,
I don't see like with jazz, it can sort of, to the outside listener, it can dissolve into the ether, even though there's something going on underneath. But it seems like a Brazilian music is where it's more like more there for a good time. As well as obviously the great depth and stuff.
I guess like the bossa nova is like, but it's not dance music. Do you know what I mean? It's like it's an evolution, like a step forward from samba in a sense.
But the rhythm is very
the rhythm is there, but there's not like a traditional dance. Do you know what I mean? Like you can't dance gafieira, which you dance to samba, or I don't know, forró, there's all these kind of traditional dances. They go to particular kind of music, but the bossa nova guys, they're like, no, we're too cool. We're just listening music.
We've seen the Americans.
Exactly. It's so funny. And I was talking to Liz, and Liz Young, the violin player. She was telling about tango with what's his name, Piazzolla. Apparently, Piazzolla music is not dance music.
He was a radical.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
so it's like
they hated him to start with.
Did they?
They did. Said, what are you doing with our music?
Yeah, really.
He was a real rebel.
Right. Okay.
And now it's such a strong flavor in that music that most people, if you ask them what tango is, they think of that.
Piazzolla. Absolutely, it's crazy, right?
Yeah.
And it's funny how I find like bossa nova, Tom Jobim is kind of taken from the jazz world, like everyone now, it's bossa is part of the jazz repertoire. But tango, thanks to Piazzolla, became kind of part of the classical world. Yes. Have you noticed that? A lot of the concerts, they always got to chuck a Piazzolla in there to add a bit of, a bit of coolness there.
Yeah, the arrangement or something. Guys, the way that band sort of holds together. The orchestration, or whatever you call it. It's a small group usually, but it's very exciting. And small groups has always excited me, whatever the genre, whether it's string quartets in classical music, or small band jazz, or Brazilian group or African group, where I never like warmed to like a big band.
Big orchestra, the big band, like the horn stuff.
I've been to many orchestral concerts over the years, and that does do something. But that is like, for me, that it's because I like have a real experience when I listen to classical music. It just sends me somewhere.
Me too. It touches me. Yeah,
I just feel it.
Yeah.
Whereas with it's like I know too much about jazz. I'm listening to like, oh, what's that voice? That's good. The big band there, and it's just like this. And what I really love to do is love to hear is the personalities in the music. So I love to hear 3, 4, 5 people interacting with each other, and that being fluid.
Yeah,
that
totally.
Really excites me.
Like the small ensembles, right?
The small ensemble.
Yeah. Allows you to do that, right? I mean, it creates that kind of atmosphere, the intimacy, right? That you can connect. I guess when you're in a 100-piece orchestra, you know what I mean? Everyone's just so focused on their job that it's kind of,
it's beautiful.
I
just found myself attracted to the small band stuff more. But there's great Piazzolla stuff with string orchestra.
Yeah, there is.
So.
Which is incredible. Yeah, totally. Piazzolla is incredible. It's amazing. But let's talk about this guy that's sitting in your lap. Look at him. Hello.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. When did he came into your life?
It's probably about 10 years ago. I went to, Mal Woods.
Yeah, of course. Yeah,
I went to Mal's house with my parents who were visiting at the time. And we had some curry and we had some beers.
Nice.
And halfway through the night, Mal just handed me this old accordion of his dad's.
Oh, really?
And he said, why don't you have a play on that? I said, I've never had a go on that before. What is it? So I knew roughly, I think it's like umcha on that side. And so I just sort of, I found that, like an idiot hat, And then I just found myself sort of, I just found that I had few beers, so I just went no, as he would. And there's a photo of me doing that somewhere that Mal had. He gave it to me one day. He said, "Do you remember that?" It's like, so from there.
Yes, I'm so sorry.
It's it's too late, mate. So that started me off on this kind of journey, and then I bought one about 6 months later, and it's kind of a cheap one off the internet, but it was new, so everything works. It wasn't great. And then about a year or two after that, I tried doing gigs on that, but it just wasn't quite good enough an instrument. It was mainly me. I wasn't good enough. That was part of the instrument.
Of course, they always blame the instrument.
Blame the instrument.
Yes.
And then, there was another one, a Titano, Italian-made one, and that was really nice. That was a proper instrument. And then I got this one probably 3 or 4 years ago. And it's really nice, lovely instrument.
Beautiful. And, what's his name? What's it called?
Serenellini.
Serenellini. Yeah. Is it always, because I heard like the call is German, but is it Italian really? Or is it not? I don't know. Do you know the history of it, or where does it come from?
Well, the very first accordion-like instrument is an ancient Chinese instrument called a sheng. And you blow into it.
Oh, really?
But it's got reeds inside. And it's got pipes. It looks like a pipe organ, like floating in the clouds or something.
Cool.
It's a great thing to look at. And then you sort of blow into it like that. And it's got keys. And when you press the keys, that opens the air to get to that reed.
Right, sure.
So it's maybe, I don't know how many, it's got a couple of octaves or something. And I've seen a few people playing it. You can look it up on YouTube. There's people playing it. They're doing classical music there.
And the Indians have the harmonium as well, right? Like
that's right. I don't know.
They have reeds. It's kind of the same system.
Yeah, it's exactly the same thing. It's just the bellows are there.
Yeah. Instead of that.
Yeah, but I don't know when that came in. I think that came in through maybe it's a European instrument.
Is it? Okay, it came from a European kind of influence.
Originally, but then now it's become it's owned by Indian culture now. I think.
It is. Absolutely.
It's a really beautiful part of that sound.
Totally.
So
cool.
So you can see these kind of instruments end up everywhere.
Yeah, they do.
It's unbelievable. Yeah.
And like in Brazil, was super popular. Like through my research of Brazilian music and stuff, during the I think until the 60s. But not only Brazil. If I'm not sure if what I'm saying is correct, is that the accordion was super popular. Instead of the guitar, the accordion was the cool instrument. That's all everyone played because it gave the flexibility.
What do you mean was?
I mean,
it's too late.
No, it's good. I'm joking.
I know my place.
No.
Same thing happened in the 50s, I think, with you would see people playing accordion on jazz shows in the 50s.
Yeah.
I've seen old TV shows and stuff, and they'll just wheel this guy out, and he just burns up and down some amazing stuff with the jazz band in the background, and then he goes off again. And so and it was popular. And the amount of people that come up to me while I'm playing gigs and say, "Oh, my grandfather used to play that, or my mother played
Absolutely,
it, or this and that," and all the time.
So
and
cool.
now there's only a handful of people playing it.
Right?
Yeah. Well, in comparison to that,
I guess the kind of the guitar kind of took that role, right? Like became the popular.
But they put
thing.
this was a later addition.
Oh, was it? Okay,
the piano keyboard onto an accordion. So
really?
they got the button accordion in France and in Russia and all that's kind of the band.
So Eastern European.
So they put this on in order to get more people to play it because everybody played piano.
Yeah, of course.
In the 19th century, and so they put this on. Yeah. And and then loads more people just started playing it, and then I think it was very popular until mid last century.
Yeah, absolutely. Because of its portability as well. For piano players, you can't really take the piano to the beach, but you can take the accordion. Right?
And you can take take a keyboard, you can take a real instrument and stuff. But they're very different beasts. They've got all you can play all the notes at once and all that sort of stuff. But the wind element is really kind of, it's lovely expressive.
Yeah.
Kind of, you can get this kind of incredibly quiet, vast range of you can really let it die off into nothing.
Totally,
and you can even bend the notes.
Yeah, so cool.
So you get this kind of bluesy.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's like bending the notes. Yeah, that's super cool.
That's kind of fun. And obviously there's all the kind of tricks with the bellows and stuff. The
Bellows Shakes.
Yeah,
it's super cool.
And this lady showed me recently this one. I can't believe I hadn't worked it out before. A ricochet, and it's like a bellows shake. So bellows shake, you just go in and out.
Yeah.
And you got to keep it all kind of tight in there so it doesn't go flapping around everywhere. But a ricochet.
So cool.
You get triplet. It's amazing.
Yeah.
So you can. All that
super
sort of
cool.
stuff.
Yeah,
and,
it's amazing.
So there's lots of interesting things that I'm learning as I go along.
Yeah,
I'm trying to catch up.
And like we were talking about before, like you do a lot more gigs now with the accordion, right? With all your different projects.
Yeah,
and stuff.
I do. Yeah.
Cool.
It's more accordion than more accordion gigs than piano gigs, but I still do a lot of piano work as well.
Cool.
But
awesome.
but I put a lot of time into trying to master this thing. It gives me a lot of. I think I just love trying to work stuff out.
Yeah, cool.
The difference between what I noticed, the difference between learning this and learning the piano is when I was learning piano, I was really learning music, and obviously you don't ever finish learning music. But I was at the elementary stages of learning music.
Yeah.
Whereas with this, when I took this up, we kind of got an idea of what you want to play inside your head already.
Of course, right?
So it's really beautiful that you get to see when you play another instrument, that you're not, the music is more than the instrument, it's like
absolutely.
The music is, and you use this to say something or to play something. And so every time I learn a new instrument, it's a new opportunity to sort of see what music is a little bit.
Yeah, of course.
And sort of sing a melody.
I'll translate it from your head, from your heart, I guess, and into to the instrument, and I guess kind of have to navigate all the technical challenges of the instrument, right?
Yeah, but you can learn an instrument in a very mechanical way, and especially if you maybe if you're reading music all the time or something like that, and you can be very good at that. But then if anybody asks you, what did you play? What is that music? How could you describe it to someone else or something? Then, when you learn jazz and stuff, I guess, you get more into working out how the music's constructed, so you can reconstruct it yourself.
Yeah, of course.
But every time when I came to this, I suppose the best example would be on this side. You've got the way it's constructed is a circle of fifths down like that.
Yeah.
So for the three chords that would get used most in pop music and all that sort of stuff, they're all right next door to each other. So it's kind of designed for folk stuff.
Yeah.
But you've got that circle of fifths. This one here So if I play a triad, right, you've got a whole row here. This row is the third of that. So
right.
So this row here is a third away from this row.
Right.
Also in a circle. It's probably too technical, but
the
only reason I'm saying it is because it's like it's a non-linear pattern,
yeah,
right?
Yeah, totally.
So if you watch me play a major scale, that's what you have to do to make a linear line.
Yeah, it's like the fingers are going all sort of kind of different positions, right? It's not linear like this side, I guess.
That's it. The sound is like, if you got it in. But here, it's completely messed up, right? So to get that, so that you've got that map in your head, you have to rely on the sound, really.
Yeah, totally.
You know, so if you know, da da dee da 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 da. But if you like have to then write it down and then look at it and read it, it's too slow.
Yeah, totally.
So it kind of, I found it's kind of making me better musician. Like I'm making sure that I can really hear what I want to play because I learned classically and all the benefits of that with technique on the piano and stuff. Sure. All the benefits of that are wonderful, but it can become, and the greatest classical musicians, this isn't the case, but you can become mechanical, like it's all happening by muscle memory.
Yeah, totally,
And if you're playing, and even learning through jazz, I think, I've discovered, maybe you could have a bit more sound up here and not rely on just knowing this will probably work.
Totally.
I'm exaggerating, but
absolutely.
But that's a thing, you know.
Makes total sense. That's super cool. Love it.
But it's tricky with jazz because it's so, you come up across like a crazy chord sequence that you've seen for the first time. And you're bound to end up using.
Sure. The tricks.
The brain as well as the ear, you know.
Yeah, of course, absolutely.
Tricks
exactly.
But it's fun, and that's why I kind of. I'm in love with music.
Yeah, me too. It's amazing. And like, I muck around the piano, I muck around the bass and all different instruments. And I find like each instrument kind of puts you in not in a mindset, but like not the limitations, but the each instrument kind of makes you create music in a different way.
Yeah.
Right? Totally. So it gives you a different experience and a journey, like, especially when improvising, writing, composing. I find it really fascinating. And the joy of playing different instruments, it has that, you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
It takes us out of our comfortable kind of way of thinking, kind of pushes,
Yeah, you start thinking about the sound, like, what do I want to come out?
Yeah, exactly.
I can't just sit down and go, know that this is going to just come out. Obviously, that's a kind of part of the mastery of it, isn't it? That you can just let go and listen to the people around you and let it happen and stuff. But but also, if that can also be a trap when it becomes, when you find yourself playing the same lick over and over again. You're like, hang on a minute, is that really improvising? Or am I just, do I just have this like small repertoire of
patterns and stuff?
But that's what attracted me to playing jazz, I think, is the idea and all the music that I really liked. Most of the music that I really liked all had some kind of improvisation.
Element of improvisation, totally.
So at Christmas we'd be listening to Ella and Louis, Ella Fitzgerald and Louis Armstrong kind of records and watching the old black and white movies on the TV in England. And so there'd be things like was it High Society? There's a few old movies, and they're full of jazz musicians.
Right, cool.
All the classic guys from the 40s and stuff.
Wow.
And so it's quite nostalgic. And then actually there was one Benny Goodman, the Benny Goodman Story.
Okay.
So he was a famous clarinet player.
Yeah, I know Benny Goodman.
Him?
Yeah, of course.
Anyway, he was in the middle of his solo. I think it was 5.
Yeah.
He was in the middle of his solo, and he made this sort of wailing noise. I don't know, he shrieked through it, or he did some tongue trill or something. And it sounded wild. And I remember it, and I turned to my dad and I said, like, I want to play that.
Wow, that's beautiful.
So Benny Goodman, both inspired and fooled me, because that was the one time that I thought, oh, that's a cool instrument, and no one else thought it was a cool instrument. But I got, as I would continually over the years, like with different instruments, just got obsessed with it. And how does it work? What am I going to make? How do we make it sound good?
Nice,
all that sort of stuff.
So cool.
So and now with this. It's I just
and you
find
explore
it beautiful.
Different music with this instrument, right?
Because of the instrument.
Right. How cool is that?
Exactly.
That's awesome. Super
so
cool.
all the folk stuff. And I never felt comfortable playing that sort of music on the piano. Felt like I was playing the wrong instrument.
Yeah, of course.
You know,
right,
so it's lovely to have that open.
Awesome, that's great.
But I always compose music on the piano.
Do you? Yeah, of course.
Yeah, pretty much always.
Yeah.
And actually, I saw an interview with Richard Galliano, the accordion player.
Yeah.
He, I saw an interview with him recently, and he said he always composes on the piano, and I was really surprised with him because he's such a master
of the accordion, right? Yeah, that's
interesting. But he says, it's just something about it, and I can see, you know, it's like it's just the piano's just laid out there.
Yeah,
it's all there. It's all in the right order.
Yeah, I know. It's so linear. I know. So jealous of the piano. Like, because the guitar is just like a mess, you know.
It's a great way of seeing harmony.
It's a little more clear, you know. But at the same time, like I was talking, I don't know who I was talking to about this, about the difference of composition, and the guitar kind of offers you different kind of voicings, you know, when you're writing arrangement chords, because like there's a lot of repetitions here, right, with the chords. So like when you're arranging stuff, when you're composing, just gives you different opportunities. Do you know what I mean? It's like,
well, I've been inspired by some of the things that people do on guitar, where you've got this. But one of the like great things about guitar is that you can just move, can't you? And you've got the same voicing on a different note.
Yeah, absolutely.
And to do that on the piano, it's always, they're all different shapes and stuff. But I love that sound.
Yeah.
So I kind of, or let's take this one, like just take some fourths or something.
So
it's the sort of thing you might play on a guitar, or you know. All that kind of stuff.
Yeah, sure.
And you know, I really love that sound, and that's something that, you know, I think there are things that are easy to do on an accordion.
Yeah.
And so people do them a lot.
Yeah,
I don't think that's lazy. That's just like that's just going the path of least resistance.
Absolutely,
right?
Absolutely, exactly,
and then, you know, and then you kind of, so like I suppose playing a melody, you know. You can get, and because you can play, you can make the note die at will, whereas on a piano you strike it and it just decays.
Yeah, sure. It's kind of like almost more expressive, you know, so almost kind of like a
more voice-like.
More voice-like.
Yeah,
exactly.
That's right.
Sure, like a wind instrument. It is a bit of a wind instrument in a sense.
It is a wind
instrument.
Yeah,
wow,
it is.
Cool,
yeah. This is something I've been slowly transitioning from piano, not from piano, but to the accordion. And noticing that, so on a piano, like the speed or the velocity you strike the key determines how loud it comes out, right?
Sure.
Because there's a hammer
of course,
hitting a string. With this, it makes no difference how hard you hit the note, so you can waste a lot of effort.
Totally, right?
And on the other end of that, if you accidentally don't hit it hard enough, even when you want to play softly, the volume's coming from here only. You've still got to hit that quite fast so that it plays. But if you go like you would on a piano and go soft, it get this kind of it didn't quite come out sort of thing. So it's a lovely journey of sound.
So cool.
It switches everything back on again.
Totally, it's amazing. Good on you, man. Oh, thanks so much for being here.
It's my pleasure.
Awesome.
Yeah,
beautiful.
thanks for having me.
No worries. Thank you. Should we play another tune?
Let's do it.
Awesome. We're gonna do Corcovado?
Sure.
Awesome. Let's do it. I just dropped my pick. Sorry, I'm just get it.
How do you want to do it?
I don't know. Good question. You play the melody, and then we can, muck around a bit.
Yeah. Sounds good.
Okay, here you go. So, did you guys like it? If you really liked it, please don't forget to subscribe, give it a like, and if you really like it, you want to support us, don't forget to go to the link down below and go to our Patreon account where you can help us keep going. Thank you so much.